Wangwood is being recognized as one of the last artists.
Dahil lahat po tayo ay pwedeng maging isang bayani sa ating sariling paraan.
Beautiful ako sa kung ano ako, sa kung ano yung meron ako.
We were able to give about 1,000 bicycles to 10 cities in Metro Manila.
The Iron Lady of Asia. Ganito nakilala si Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago noong nabubuhay pa siya.
The winner of Asia's Next Top Model is Maureen.
Which actually scored. Amazing, she left the best for last. Pauline.
Philippines, the wait is over! The gold is yours!
Hello, Sheros! This is our podcast that features strong women and engages in conversations to empower you. Join me as we hear from Sheros all over the world, share their stories, and becoming the women they are today. We hope their stories can help inspire you. Find your inner Shero. This is Pauline Lopez, and welcome to SHERO Talk. Today on SHERO Talk, we will get to know an inspiring woman who many of us look up to because of her strong and articulate voice. She has written a book called Paano Ba To, which also turned into a podcast that provides insights on everyday life and how to get through the challenges many of us face.
Hello, supers! This episode is especially for my fellow parents. Today, we are talking about intentional parenting. Ano ba yun at paano ba yun gawin? We are ending the month of June with our Pride Month special. Do you have a dream job? And has anyone ever doubted that you can land your dream job?
So how to be a go-getter?
Through her power of storytelling and conversations with others, she is able to share how we can get to know ourselves more and learn on how to grow as human beings.
You show other women na it's okay to speak up, it's okay to fight for what you believe in. And dahil doon, parang na-empower ang ibang kababaihan tulad ko to do the same.
On top of this, she is also a co-owner of a company that elevates and provides a space for women to be empowered and inspired. Let us welcome Bianca Gonzalez. Hi Bianca, thank you so much for being here today with me on SHERO Talk. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me and congratulations on this project. I love it. I loved when I heard about it first from our common friend, Mark. And I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Well, I'm just trying to calm down because I've always been such a fan. So really, thank you for taking the time. So, how are you doing in the time of the pandemic? I know you've been staying at home and I also see it on your social media that you're spending time with your two beautiful girls.
Yes, luckily my job allows me to work from home, which is such a blessing, especially at a time like this, and especially with two young kids. It's hard to keep going out, especially when you have kids at home. And so just super, super grateful that I get to work from home. And so far, everyone is healthy and well. All the adults here are fully vaccinated. Salamat sa Diyos. So, yeah.
Well, what is the most important thing you're teaching them right now?
I haven't really gotten to the point of thinking of what should I teach my kids. At this age, it's really more of like surviving day to day, the breakdowns, the crying spells. But I think for my husband and I, more than anything, what we try to, I guess, instill in them is just to really be good kids, to treat others well, to be kind. And another thing is, especially this past year, is to also learn how to deal with feelings.
Oh, yes.
So whether happy or sad, they're both normal feelings. And so how to get through that. So those are, I guess, top of mind what we are trying to teach our kids at this age.
No, I definitely get it because I am a new auntie. I have a niece and my sister just always tells me I don't know how to do this. So I definitely understand that and I can't wait to meet her, obviously. So speaking of family, you're a wonderful young mom, but also you are a wife to also a professional athlete who's also a public figure. How are you able to balance your work life, responsibilities as a mom, and on top of that, keeping your relationship healthy and strong?
In terms of keeping the relationship with my husband healthy and kumbaga the passion is there, I 100% fully have to credit my husband for that. Thankfully, he is very understanding because I think as a mom, the instinct is all the needs of the kids or all the needs of the home first.
Nung mag-boyfriend pa lang kami, sobrang niyang maalaga, Tito Boy. Tapos nung naging mag-asawa kami, mas naging maalaga kasi ngayon na may anak na kami, mas papala. Parang may nile-level up pa siya ng pinapakitang pag-aalaga.
Although, of course, my husband is there, I guess moms see things differently talaga. And thankfully, my husband is very understanding. He understands that at this young age, medyo kids talaga muna yung priority ko. Even if in many the seminars before getting married, they always make that deal na kahit may anak na kayo, your husband or your partner should still be your number one priority. But reality is different because
Completely different.
of course you have to attend to the kids. So keeping the relationship strong, keeping the fire alive, I credit my husband. But of course, as the mom, I make sure that everything he needs here at home is here. So yeah.
That is so amazing. I mean, I have that example as well at home, and I'm still learning, in the future, in maybe 5-10 years, I don't know. But really, thank you for sharing that personal story. So, speaking now to your work life, like I told you earlier, I am a fan, and I've seen it before. You were the host of PBB, and I remember seeing this interview, and they asked you, and now I'm also asking you, why did you choose to become a host? You had the opportunities to be in movies, TV series, but why this medium?
To be honest, looking back now, I don't know how I was able to pull that off. Meaning, when I started on TV, the impression of people who are on TV is if you're on TV, you act, sing, dance, host, you do everything. But I remember that when I started, my manager then, who is still my manager now, Tito Boy Abunda, I guess he understood because he is also a host. And I remember telling him that, Tito Boy, ito lang yung gusto ko gawin. Ito lang yung interesado akong gawin. I'd rather interview the bida of the movie rather than to be in the movie.
I knew in my heart that all I really could do and wanted to do was host. So I stuck to it and tried to create my own little space in the industry.
It was always like that. And I think that has a lot to do with me. I'm an introvert. I'm very shy. And so even if I work on cam, I feel like hosting is more of me being the medium for other people to share their stories, to highlight other people, to put other people in the spotlight. And so I guess hosting was a comfortable place for me, and of all the, I guess, jobs that one could have on cam, yun lang yung interesado ako.
What do you really like doing? As in, when you do it, ang saya-saya mo. Oh, I really like doing this. Or what are you really good at? Whether it was a subject in school or a skill or a sport. What do you love doing that if someone asks you to do it, even if for free, you'd say, sure? Or what comes so easy to you? You may not really like it, but dali-dali naman. Ganon. I'm sure there's something, right? So,
and it honestly all happened accidentally. Like when I started hosting kasi, I was, I think, about to finish college pa lang. So it was a part-time job. Modeling on the side, hosting on the side. So sabi ko, wow, okay na racket to, 2 to 3 years. And then I'm gonna pursue being a filmmaker, which was what I really wanted to be. And then yung 3 years, parang naging 6 years, tas naging 10 years, tas ngayon 17 years na. So yeah, it was really just, I get a path that was laid out for me.
Oh, pero what makes it or what makes the conversation very powerful? What do you look for? Why is it so engaging for you?
I, ever since, loved listening to stories. Ever since. And so, I feel like when the world of hosting was introduced to me, for me to be part of that, to interview someone so someone can share their story, or to interview someone and write about it, and somebody would read about their story, parang it just called me. And yeah, just like you with your platform, Shiro, I know that you believe in the power of stories because you're able to see yourself. If you see yourself in someone or see a similar situation that someone went through, like, pwede pala yon, or I can do it, kinaya niya. So it's a lot of that. Sharing stories shows us all that we are more alike than we are different. Sharing stories opens our minds to the possibilities. Sharing stories, I guess, paves the way for all of us to learn and learn more things.
I wanted to use parang the network I've created through the years of my work, the people I've met. I want to connect them to the people. I had so many concepts in mind, parang lahat hindi swak to who I am. And then one day I just looked at my desk, I saw the book, Paano Ba To? I'm like, perfect.
It's definitely inspiring. I mean, you've definitely inspired me to start SHERO Talk. That is so amazing. But there's one that I kind of read through and it resonated with me, being a national team athlete. In late July, you posted something. You posted congratulating Nesty and Hidilyn Diaz on their amazing success. And as I was reading through your post, there was one particular comment that I kind of had to read over and over to understand what was happening or where did this person get that mindset. So it's about Abante Babae, that tweet. And as a woman in a sport in a male-dominated sport, parang I related talaga. So can you tell us a little bit more about that tweet? Where did you get that inspiration to actually use those words, Abante Babae?
I remember the first time I saw Abante Babae, I think because I'm definitely not the one who coined it. It's something I also saw and echoed. I think it was Direct Antoinette Hadaone and a tweet that she had before. I don't even know what topic she posted about, but it's just so powerful. You know, there's go girl, there's woman power, girl power, but for me kasi Tagalog is such a poetic language, and Abante Babae, like it ignites some sort of, diba, emotion in you. And so when we all witnessed what happened to Nesty and Hidilyn, like you mentioned, it was really like, babae! I remember I tweeted like several things sunod-sunod kasi di ba ganon, especially with sporting events in the country, when people tweet talagang dire-diretso. But that particular tweet was the one that I guess people picked up because of the tag Abante Babae. And so yeah, just like what you do with Shiro, my work as well, and my work with She Talks Asia, it's so important to share stories of women winning, because for as long as we've known, more so when I was growing up, more so when our parents were growing up, the stories of people winning were really mostly men. Leaders were mostly men. Change makers are mostly men. And so we talked about the power of storytelling earlier and how it can create a ripple effect. So if more and more girls see that, oh my gosh, these girls are doing these amazing things. They see you're in a male-dominated sport. Pwede pala yon. I can be beautiful and girly and be in a male sport. I can be strong and muscular and be in a male sport. You know, there's no one look to a girl. If ages ago, girls are just at home caring for our kids, taking care of the house, now there are more faces to a woman. We are not just that. We can do so many things. And so for me, yeah, we should keep pointing out that it is a woman that won, because too many times, women are put in the back seat.
Yeah, women are footnotes.
Don't have the spotlight. And so, bigyan nyo na sa amin. Babae yung nanalo ng first gold, di ba? I mean, we have to share more stories of women. That's the only way that we can empower the next generation of women so that, di ba, they can do even more amazing things. Hihigitan pa nila eh. Whatever we're achieving now, whatever my generation is achieving, kayo, hihigitan nyo. And the generation after you, hihigitan pa. So, yeah, and that it's exciting times.
Well, like you were mentioning earlier, it's the youth's time. We have a voice. I mean, especially in social media, we see it, especially being at home. It's a digital world. It's a reality we have now. And as I listened to one of your episodes, like I said, I was a fan. I listened to one of the episodes with Miel and Frankie Pangilinan. It definitely opened my eyes to the thoughts of Gen Z. Because feel ko, I am parang gitna ng millennial and Gen Z. So I was also getting another perspective, right? You yourself, a woman with such an articulate, influential, and strong voice in this digital age, what is the most important thing you can pass on for the women and young girls of the current generation?
Thank you for listening to that episode. That's one of my absolute favorite episodes. Frankie and Miel are just, oh my gosh, I love those two. I guess in terms of what people can do or what the youth can do, no one can dictate that kasi. And for me, I think what is most important, and for this answer, I will borrow from Tita Michelle Obama, who is also another favorite human being of mine. I watched a talk of her where she was in conversation with Oprah, the Oprah. And she said something that ever since I heard it has stuck to me. She said that the most important role of women, she believes, is to take the time to get to know yourself.
You know, one of the things that I tell my mentees, I tell my daughters, is that our first job in life as women, I think, is to get to know ourselves. I think a lot of times we don't do that. We spend our time pleasing, satisfying, looking out into the world to define who we are.
And it seems so simple, but when she said that, I felt so attacked because I think I heard that I was in my 30s na. Yeah, I was like 32, 33 when I heard that talk of hers. And I felt like all my 20s, I didn't really know who I was. I kind of know what I wanted. I knew what I was good at, but I was still figuring out who I was. And if I wish I had heard that advice when I was 18 because I really would have taken the time to get to know myself, because that's the only way you'll know what is important to you, what you value, what issues affect you. Kasi iba-iba naman talaga tayo eh. We all can't be alike and fight for the environment only, diba? There are people who will fight for the environment, education, sports, health, poverty, etc., etc. So you really have to take the time to get to know who you are, meaning you will not easily be swayed by a YouTube video that you watched or one tweet that you saw and suddenly parang like, ito ka na. No way. We are all different facets, different backgrounds, different life experiences, and all of that molds who we are, right? No one person is alike. So you have to get to know who that is, who you are, because that's the only way you can find out what is it I want to do with the world. If I'm in content, what content do I want to put out? That will all stem from who you are. And so, yeah, that is definitely advice I wish I heard when I was 18 years old.
Well, thank you for sharing that, because I know it's a process and I'm still learning to this day. So really, thank you for that. And now we're gonna get to start to know more of you as how you are as a Shero. But who is your Shero and why?
I have a lot. I look up to so many women, and this is not just women who came before me, but also women younger than me. I look up to so many people. Of course, there's my mom and my sister. starting in the modeling industry. At that time, that was dominated by mestizas. I looked up to Tweety De Leon, Angel Aquino, Risa Manangkil Trillo. Seeing them on magazines and on commercials, I was like, pwede din pala yung maitim.
Oh my God.
Starting out in TV, I would look up to the likes of Karen Davila, Tia Guanyo, the way that they would conduct interviews, do spiels, be in front of the crowd with so much energy. I wanted to be like that, and so on and so forth. The women I work with now in She Talks Asia, Isa Calzado, Lynn Pinugu, Sarah Meyer, Victoria Herrera. So I could go on. Like I could have like an hour's worth of my sheroes. I have a core group who I speak with in terms of like when you want to talk about mas serious issues, politics, ganyan. So that's also Lynn, Ana Oposa, Shelly Esguerra. You know how we all have like different groups or circles with different topics. Yeah, a lot of sheroes that oh my gosh, I admire so much.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad that you mentioned that. Actually, one of the things that I related to, you mentioned, pwede pala maitim. One of the things I read before, when I was about 14 or 15, you mentioned, parang maganda kulay namin. I related to that short phrase. Kasi when I moved to the Philippines, parang nakikita ko, ang daming skin whitening ads, ang daming push for those products. Pero I would want to pick your brain on this. How do you define beauty?
That is so hard. I've actually never been asked to define beauty, and I don't think I have a definition of beauty, and I'll tell you why. When I started kasi modeling when I was first year college, it came as a total surprise. Like I never thought I was pretty. Growing up, I was always very smart. Yun ako. Smart ako. Mahilig ako sa extracurricular activities. And hindi ako yung batang parang sasabihin, oh, ang ganda. Nothing like that. So parang growing up, I had no aspirations. I don't know if that's the correct word, na parang beauty was something that I wanted to have. I mean, physical beauty. Parang wala akong concept ng ganon. And it was only when I went to college, got a job on cam, parang doon lang ako parang natawag na maganda. Parang ganyan. Kasi prior talagang wala. And so by that time, I feel like I sort of had a footing na, I had parang medyo developed na yung ugali ko, the way I think. And so it didn't affect me. Parang ugly duckling syndrome, di ba? The duck, whether or not maganda siya, nung gumanda nung matanda, parang yun na siya, yun na yung ugali niya.
Maputi man maitim, ito ako beautiful.
Tama.
But to define, ang hirap eh. I guess what I mentioned this earlier, Tagalog is such a beautiful language, right? And I feel like ganda encapsulates more how I feel about the word beauty. And we use ganda in, I feel, such a wider scope. We don't just refer to ang ganda mo, Pauline, right? We say, if somebody says something so powerful, ganda, diba? If we see, for example, a physical stage design, setup, sculpture, piece of art, ganda. So, yeah, for me, ganda encapsulates the word more, that it's not limited to physical beauty, but it's something that you can see everywhere around you.
Thank you so much for your insights. I definitely learned so much, especially, opening my eyes to Tagalog words, since I'm learning to speak Tagalog and really know the definition, know the poetry of it. So thank you so much again, Bianca. And lastly, my very last question, as an extraordinary shero as you are, what can you say to all the women and young girls, teens who are listening right now?
Thank you for considering me a shero. It's honestly something I still like. Really? What?
Oh, you are to me super talaga.
No, super wa etchos, no bola. It's really something that I am very honored whenever I am called anything like that. So thank you. And aside from what I said earlier from Tita Michelle about the importance of taking the time to get to know who you are, and know that's not on social media and that's not through peer pressure. That's a lot of you spending time with yourself, your family, your loved ones. That's the way. I think another thing I'd like to share with all the younger women watching or listening to this is that you can create your own path. And I guess that stems from what I said about getting to know yourself. You don't have to do things exactly the way other people did it just because you want to be a blank, right? A certain job description or a certain title doesn't mean you have to do it exactly the way everyone else who has the title did it. You can do things your own way, based on your own values, based on what you believe. And with everything and all the resources available to you right now, that is much easier and so super possible. So yeah, carve your own path, do things how you want, and don't let whatever labels people have of you or of what you want to do limit you.
Oh my God, that's so amazing. And I will definitely bring that with me in whatever I am doing. Thank you so much again, Bianca, for being here on SHERO Talk. To my fellow Sheros, let's make a difference and reshape the world together. Follow me on our next episodes and discover our power from within. Our time is now. This is Pauline Lopez, and see you on our next SHERO Talk.